Hey everybody, it's Paige Evans and I have a new process video to share with you today. This was made for International Scrapbook Day in the Scrap Gals Facebook group, and I love using lots of pattern papers and bright colors on my layouts, and an easy way to do that is to use a punch. So I have picked all of the B-side single colored papers from all my collections with pink paisley, and I'm using this Petals punch to punch petals in two different sizes from this rainbow of colors. And I'm not going to use dark red or the dark blues, but I'm using mostly pastel colors and this purple or lavender textured cardstock as my background, and I'm going to start arranging the petals how I think I want them, just very loosely getting a basic idea. And so I'm starting with purples in the middle and working my way outwards in rainbow order. So the purples, and then the aquas and blues, followed by the greens, then the yellows, the oranges, and the pinks. So on the left side, you can see I also tried a version where the petals were overlapping to create a kind of big flower. In the end, I decided to go with the smaller petals on the lavender textured cardstock. You can see I arranged them on a more pink colored cardstock there on the right. But I like the lavender color better, so I'm going to transfer the petals over onto this cardstock and add them with a little bit of adhesive. But I know I'm going to come in with machine stitching, so it doesn't matter if you use super sticky tape or not. Unless you don't want to do machine stitching, and then definitely do use very sticky tape. Alright, so now I'm going to do some machine stitching, color on color, so pink thread for the pink petals, green thread for the green petals, so on and so forth. And I am going to trim off the excess by turning it over and using a fine tipped pair of scissors. And sometimes I like to leave my thread ends long, which I'm going to do in this case because I just like that whimsy and texture. I know it drives some people bonkers, and maybe in a few years I'll come back and be like, why didn't I trim these thread ends? But call me crazy. For now, I like how it looks having these thread ends just add a little bit of whimsy and texture. I am going to bend up the petals to create more texture and dimension and shadows. Just one by one, going around the layout and bending up those petals. And then I am going to splash some white acrylic paint around the layout. I'm going to concentrate it more in the center where the petals start to burst out, and then work my way so there's not as many drops towards the edges. I'm using a photo of my kids, Fox and Jane, in front of a wall, and I am going to call this layout Say Cheese, and that was trimmed from paper number 1 in my Pick Me Up collection. I haven't adhered it down yet, but it's going to be tucked underneath the photo. Coming in with my enamel dot stash, and this is when I realized that I need more enamel dots because I don't have all the colors, and I need all the colors. And so I'm adding an enamel dot in between the petals, and I found another set by Altenew, so I'm coming in with those perfectly colored enamel dots. The aquas, the mints, the purples, even a few pinks. And then for even more texture and color, I've got out my sequin stash, and so I'll do some more color on color with the sequins on the petals. And I'll just use a little glue dot to attach those in place. Adding another chipboard sticker that says Smile, Say Cheese. I figure that goes along with the title. And then adding a few things underneath the picture. So here I thought about doing the journaling on the bottom left corner, so I'm going to start grabbing things, trimming this sentiment out from the frame, journaling spots from Pick Me Up. In the end, I decided it was too heavy, too distracting. I felt like my eye was being pulled from the photo on the top right to the journaling on the bottom left, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Journaling is important, but I like having my journaling incorporated into the overall layout design more. And so I like how the layered elements look, but I decided to go a different direction. So I've added some tags, journaling spots, frames, etc. underneath the picture. Decided I liked that, so I adhered it down with permanent adhesive. And the journaling is going to, well, I thought it was going to go on that bit, the journaling lines underneath the photo. Still didn't like it, so I'm going back down to the bottom left corner with no other embellishments, just the journaling, stamping the date, and I think that looks much better. It's not as heavy down there. So I encourage you, if you like pattern paper and bright colors, to use a punch and create repetition on your layout, and it comes together quickly and always yields beautiful results. So thank you so much for joining me, and be sure to check out the other challenges in the Scrap Gals Facebook community.